All right, we're here at Red Bull Kumite. Who are you?
I'm Big Bird, and I come from the UAE.
Big Bird, welcome to New York City.
Thank you.
Is this your first time here?
No, second time. I've been here in 2021.
And you like it?
It's actually amazing. It's probably my favorite state to visit.
Okay. So at the moment, do you consider yourself a Rashid main or a Marisa main?
I don't consider myself either, to be honest. I'm more of a dual main. You can say dual main.
Dual main, okay. And which of those characters do you think is stronger?
I think Rashid is stronger, solely because of the level 2. But I also think Marisa... The problem with Marisa is the best of 3 format.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of shines less in that, but in a 3 out of 5 and more, she actually is really, really good. That's why this tournament, Red Bull Kumite, is perfect for Marisa, because it's first to 5 all the way.
Okay. So in terms of like, I don't want to get too into like tier list talk, but like, which characters do you think at the moment are maybe, I'm not going to say like who do you think's the strongest, but who do you think's maybe like under the radar a little bit? Like who do you think's maybe not getting as much focus as they should?
I was thinking Rashid for a while, but obviously that's out of the window now. It's actually coming in the Cup and Cup.
The secret's out.
Yeah, so he's not under the radar anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Chun-Li has been under the radar for a while, and I'm glad she's getting exposed to what she is. Master, stop downplaying Chun-Li. So I think Chun-Li is on right now is getting up there. I still think she's like one of the strongest characters in the game, even more now because of JP nerf. Who else? There's a character that I don't see anyone talking about, but he's always doing work, which is Guile. Which is very understandable because it's like you need a character specialist for Guile, and there's only like Du, Kaba, Higuchi, and only Du is the one like doing really, really good in the international map. So I would say Guile and Chun-Li used to be slept on, or still slept on actually. People are mostly focusing on Luke, Ken, used to be JP. Yeah, I think it's just mostly it. Used to be always Luke, Ken, and DJ.
And Ken's got a bit of a reputation for having the phenom and the down players and what was it, the society or whatever?
The Ministry of Propaganda.
The Ministry of Propaganda. Now you're not a Ken player, but are you a member of the Ministry of Propaganda?
They claim me as a member of the Ministry, but I'm not. I'm just there to say that Luke is better than Ken. And I think we can all agree with that right now, especially with all the Lukes terrorizing Cup and Cup. But I've always thought that Luke is better than Ken. I've always thought that Ken is still very strong, but the damage kind of betrays him a bit. So if you notice all the characters on the top, JP, Luke, or used to be at the top, JP, Luke, DJ, even Chun-Li, they all are amazing all-around characters, and they have great damage. Ken is an amazing all-around character, but he's mostly overshadowed, like everything that he does is overshadowed by his corner carry and then the corner pressure he gets. I mean, the corner pressure is a bit worse now, but still very good. So even when you ask the Japanese guys, they always used to think that Ken doesn't belong like with Luke and JP solely because of the damage. I think it's very fair because in this game you kind of need damage. Opening up someone twice is a lot easier than opening someone up 5 times in a row.
Okay. You mentioned while you're answering that you felt JP's fallen off a little bit. Do you think the nerfs affected him?
Yes, I do think the nerf, like Crouch Heavy Punish nerf, is a bit. I think it was a bit much, especially in high level play. I've seen Kakeru play. I mean, the reason he's not here is because when he was playing Rikuchi or Kawano, there was a lot of rounds that he lost because the Crouch Heavy Punch traded with those jump ins. I do think that the anti-air is fine, but with the current jump ins, I feel like it got a bit worse. I do feel like the jump ins got nerfed a bit, then that anti-air will be fine. He also got other anti-airs like jump, throw, forward heavy kick, but forward heavy kick is very spacing dependent. And Amnesia now is still strong because you can just get the corner switch now, but it's just not broken anymore. So I feel like DP is definitely better right now than Amnesia because it doesn't get meter gain anymore. It gets it's like for perfect parry. Like if you perfect parry someone, the damage is pretty much the same. But the positioning is still good for him. So I don't think Amnesia is like destroyed or anything, but I do think is a lot less oppressive than he used to be.
So do you think he's been knocked out of the top 5?
I do think he's been knocked out of top 3. Top 5, I'm not too sure yet because there's still a big batch coming. But I did hear DCQ say that JP is like low mid right now.
I don't know if I go that far.
Yeah, maybe he might be exaggerating.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
and all the Japanese players, they have the JP players, they all have switched to Blanca. Nemo's playing Blanca, Yusi's playing Blanca.
Yeah, Blanca seems to be. We were talking about characters that were flying under the radar. I think Blanca might be one of them going forward. But so you mentioned that there's a big balance patch coming, as we know. What are you hoping for in terms of system mechanic changes?
System mechanic changes. I would like to see. I would like to see parry in general tweaked. I don't like the fact that you can just throw it out and be safe. I would like either more recovery or a bigger penalty on whiffing parry in the neutral leg. So right now, I think the penalty is like your drive gauge stops for a bit, but I do think maybe it needs to cost more. Whiffing parry. I think whiffing parry costs like what, half a bar?
Half a bar, yeah.
Yeah, I do think it needs to cost a bar at least. And perfect parry, I guess perfect parry can't really change it because if you change it, then drive rush, drive impact will be a lot stronger. So if you want to change any of them, you got to change all of them together. They work because they work together. Drive rush, I would like to see damage scaling on it, especially on the first hit, like raw drive rush. I'd like to see damage scaling. And crouch medium kick drive rush, I don't mind if it's plus. I don't mind if it's hard to react to a drive reversal. I just want, if it hits, I want it to be scaled more, especially on heavies. I mean, crouch medium kick drive rush is that the scaling is still there, but the mediums and the heavies, the damage scaling isn't the same. So I would like to see that change more, maybe more scaling. And I feel like drive rush, kind of fine. Like if you're ready, you can react to it. It's still oppressive, but I feel like it's fine. But, and another thing is the meter gain. I feel like the meter gain is super, super good. And that's the reason why people complain about Rashid, because the meter gain is why he's getting multiple level 2s in a round. It's not because the level 2 is broken. It's because the meter gain is it's really good. You don't have to really think about throwing out level 2. You can throw it out, you'll build meter back again in the next round. So I feel like the meter gain should be slowed down a bit. Maybe a penalty in some cases, like Rashid throws out level 2, he can't build meter anymore. It's kind of like JP's Amnesia, what they did with JP's Amnesia. You can't build meter if you activate it. I feel like that's good. But yeah, that's about it. Meter gain, damage scaling on drive rush, and more risk on parry. I feel like that will make the game a bit more sensible. I think that's the right word for it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, moving over from the game side of things to more like the tournament situation at the moment. Obviously, you know, the CPT structure last year was criticized for being too online.
Yeah.
Some people think that lots of online focus is good because it gives opportunities to players from lots of different regions. Other people think that it should be more offline. Where do you stand on that?
I don't want online taking from the regions where they can't really travel a lot, especially like South America, maybe like Bangladesh, South Africa. I would like to see, though, instead of having online CPT and World Warrior, I would like to see the online CPT taken away, replaced with offline. Keep the World Warriors, and I think that's good. I mean, I think the last CPT format before the pandemic was good, but the onlines were kind of like meaningless because let's say there was an online CPT, an online it would just give you points. So let's say there was an online CPT in South Africa. If you win that, you get 200 points, but 200 points in that during that structure doesn't get you anywhere close. I think the last place was like 900 points. So I do feel like they should keep the World Warriors, remove the online CPT, add offline CPT, and maybe try to bring the offline CPT to these regions like South Africa. I feel like they're more than capable of hosting these kind of events. I mean, we've seen Red Bull Kumite last year; it was amazing. So I feel like having a balance between the two is good, but making one take over the another is. I feel like that's what the problem is for a lot of people.
Okay, and
one more thing.
Go on.
Also, even though we had 3 offline CPTs last year, there was no incentive to travel to any of those CPTs unless you live in a very strong region. Like, for example, East Coast, Japan. Other than that, there was no reason to travel. Like, for me, I was literally in Europe when France CPT was happening, but I didn't care about going there because I have 2 online CPTs in my backyard, so why am I going to a harder CPT instead of just playing online and that's it? So that's also why there should be a balance, because people are just going to choose the online CBT over the other.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Middle East as a region. So obviously, you and Angry Bird are kind of like training partners out there. You know, you've been working together, refining your craft for many years. Are there other players that you feel like need a bit more spotlight? You know, from that
Yes,
region?
actually, in the current LCQ that's happening right now, Wasim from Saudi, he's like 21 years old. He's actually in top 8 winner side right now, and he might qualify tomorrow. I think he has a good chance of qualifying tomorrow. He's a Luke player from Saudi, and this is like his first international tournament. Me and Angry play him a lot in UAE, and I think he's one of the best in the Middle East. So hopefully he wins today and he puts himself and the Saudi scene on the international map. So there's a couple of players who are rising. I mean, we've seen Fandroid in Captain Cup, even though he didn't perform very well, but he got the respect of a lot of players in casuals, and he was able to make it there. And there's a couple of other players who are still yet to make their put themselves on the map. So I feel like Middle East is kind of growing a bit.
All right, so quick little wrap up. Top 5 Street Fighter 6 players in the world right now. Any order.
So Mena for sure. I feel like can't really discount Chris Wong. He's been consistent. I feel like he belongs. I don't know if he belongs up there for sure, but in terms of results, he definitely belongs up there. I even though Uma did win Captain Cup, I don't want to say just yet that he belongs there. It's too early. We need to see more of him. I would say Gachikun has been really consistent. So I think Nene Gachikun, and it wouldn't really be fair to have a top 5 without Angry Bird. So Angry Bird definitely belongs there as well. So that's 3, right? In my opinion, even though his results hasn't been great, like in Japan, but Kakeru, I feel like he's definitely the best player in Japan. Even if you ask Mena, we were talking me and Mena, and he was saying Kakeru is definitely the best player in Japan. So that's 4. 5. I feel like even though he hasn't really won anything, but he's always up there, I would say Punk also belongs there.
Okay.
And maybe, I mean, that's 5 already, but
That's 5, yeah. But if you've got, you can do honorable mentions if you want.
honorable mentions to Fudo, been really consistent, and yeah, I think that wraps it up.
Okay. So if people want to catch up with your stuff, watch your stream, you know, you've been doing YouTube stuff recently, how do they find you?
So we stream on twitch.tv/FGC_birds. You can watch us there. I think I'm traveling right now, so Angry Bird is taking the mantle and he's streaming right now. We also do YouTube, which is FGC Birds, FGC Space Birds. We have a lot of content there. We have a lot of guides. We have a lot of sets with high-level players. When I went to Japan, there was so many sets that were uploaded there with us playing with the Japanese. So find us on twitch.tv/FGC_birds or YouTube FGC Space Birds.
All right. Thank you for your time.
No problem.